Welcome to episode 12 of the Brett Beard Show, sponsored by James Restaurant. My name is Walker Martin. I'm here with Coach Beard. How you doing, Coach?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing good. So today we're going to be going over two games, the away game at Benton and then the home game at Ruston. Can you tell me a bit about those two games, Coach?
Well, I mean, two big-time steps in the direction for our program and where we're heading, and a lot of growth. And the opportunity to practice 3 more weeks after the season ended is a huge opportunity for our young guys to get a lot more reps and get better. And that's why in this game the rich get richer. You look at some of these powers that are always at the top. It's because they get 3, 4, 5 weeks more than everybody else every year, and that's a lot of football those kids get to play. And by the time they're seniors, look at all the football they've played more than everybody else, which gives them the advantage. And that's what we have to get into that.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the highlights. All right, the Yellow Jackets are taking the field. Lex dropping that sledgehammer onto the ground at Benton. Cold game, really cold. The players got to be feeling that temperature.
Exciting bus ride, and you know what? It's football weather. When you get this late in the year, it's supposed to be cold, and that's how it's meant to be played.
All right, so the quarterback for Benton gives it to number 3, who runs it up to the left side, dropped by Deshaun McBride. Deshaun McBride, pretty hyped for that. Whole defense came out firing in this game. Number 2 quarterback keeps it, runs it up the middle into the end zone for a touchdown. Benton strikes first. Can you tell me about the team mindset going into the game after this?
I mean, look, we've been there before. It's nothing for us to not necessarily dig a hole, but let somebody strike first and strike a couple of times before we get going. And this was nowhere we hadn't already been and weren't prepared for.
There you can see. All right, so Jackets ball now. Number 4, Cam Kelly gets the ball, fumbles on the play. It is actually recovered by Benton. Kind of a big stop by the Benton defense. Cam's kind of confused about that. Number 2, quarterback drops back pass. He passes it. 13 is running. Gets tackled by number 10, Jed Campbell, coming all the way back from the linebacker position. Tracks him down. Gets into the end zone actually for a touchdown. It looked to be short, but it wasn't. Tell me about this play.
Yeah, look, I mean, those cats, they were playing for their opportunity to continue to play as well. I mean, they came out and made some plays quick. They capitalized off our mistakes, and they really had a chance, you'll see in a little bit, to put us down 21. And they weren't able to capitalize there. But I mean, this is how we started. We get out of the bus and we start slow, and we give these teams all this momentum.
There you can see everybody kind of thought he was down. It looked to me like he was down, but ref ruled it was a touchdown. Second quarter, quarterback number 1, Reese Mooney, throws it to number 5, Ray McNeely down the sideline, gets into Benton territory. You can see he's trying to fight off a couple tackles. Ray gets up. Ray's just a beast on every side of the ball. Mooney throws to number 3, Cameron Irick, for a Jackets touchdown. Jackets cut the lead to 14-7. What's the importance of this touchdown for the game?
Yeah, I mean, it had to give us our life. It had to get us our momentum. We're momentum driven, so we needed that fire lit, and that's exactly what that big play did was get us going.
There you can see Reese Mooney kind of just throwing it up there.
Great throw. I mean, that's what you got to do. When you got 3, you can go up and get it. You don't have to be a perfect throw. Make it a catchable throw. Sometimes we put a little pressure on ourselves to make the perfect throw, and it doesn't have to be that way because you got playmakers.
All right, so right before half, Benton marches down the field. Number 2, Walters, throws to number 8, Andy Lim, for a touchdown right before half. 21-7 going into halftime. Kind of detrimental to the momentum, gives it back to Benton.
Yeah, when you're at 14-7 at this point with a minute left in the half, and we really haven't played all that well, and we're in a really good spot. I mean, we had survived a wave, and then we let them go down and score and get back to 14, where we're still comfortable with plenty of football to play.
Second half now, number 1, Reese Mooney, throws it down deep to number 3, Cameron Irick, who does great shoulder tracking, catches it for a touchdown. What's the importance of starting out with fire at this half?
Well, I mean, once again, we're momentum driven. Somebody's got to make a play to get everybody hyped up, and when they start hyping up, then it starts snowballing, and people start feeding off that energy and wanting to make plays. And this right here could arguably be one of the best plays and catches of the year. I mean, this is an unbelievable play by Irick.
Irick's doing amazing on both sides of the ball.
He's a special player. He really is. So he's going to be missed.
There you can see him celebrating. Caleb LeBlanc, onside kick, bounces above the defender's head, caught for a recovery by the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets. Great play. We get to keep the ball going into the fourth quarter. Number 1, Reese Mooney steps up, rolls out, throws it deep to number 3, Cameron Irick in the red zone, walks out of bounds there. Big play by Cameron Irick.
It is a huge night.
Reese Mooney throws it for McNeely, which is actually fumbled and recovered by the Benton Tigers. Pretty detrimental to that drive after we had momentum from the previous drive and the onside kick.
A communication problem, the breakdown that almost killed us.
Benton, number 3, Manning, punches it into the end zone. Benton goes up 28-14. Offense has a lot more pressure than they usually do on their shoulders at this time. Did you tell them anything?
No, I mean, at this point, you just got to make plays. I mean, here we are again, digging ourselves a hole. Is the better team beating us? We don't know that. We haven't played all that well. You know, it's just you got to do your job, and you got to continue to do your job, and you got to be consistent.
Here you can see number 3 is pretty hyped. Jackets ball now. Number 1, Reese Mooney finds number 7, Micah Harrison in the middle of the field, who runs after the catch and scores right there. Extra point was no good, so it's 28-20. Ends up by 8 points. Big play by Micah. Good to have him back after missing that first playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, he's a player that we have to rely on that gets the job done when needed, and you know, you can see he can make special plays. We had to have special players make special plays at this point, and his number was called and he got it done. So it was good to have him back.
Great mix of speed and physicality by Micah Harrison there, getting into the end zone for that touchdown, bringing us into a 1-score game with the Tigers. Caleb LeBlanc, onside kick again, rolls to the Jackets again, recovered again by the Denham Springs Yellow Jackets. We get the ball, still alive, still got a chance against the Benton Tigers. Reese Mooney drops back, rolls right, throws it downfield to number 3, Cameron Irick on the sideline, who actually cuts back into the middle and runs past multiple Tiger defenders, gets into the end zone for a touchdown. The Jackets did elect to go for 2 points, did not get that, so Jackets are now trailing by 2, 28-26. Another big play for number 3, Cameron Irick. What are your thoughts on him?
Well, I mean, the best thing is not very often do you see a comeback on the sideline, reverse field for a touchdown, which alone tells you that that Irick is a special player. You know, the kid needed to step up and make plays for us to continue to play, and he did just that. And you know, all you got to do is get the ball up to him and let him go get it. And you know, this coming out party, you could see where he blew up in round 2 to where Ruston was very much prepared for him and was going to take him out of the game. And I thought because of how good he is, they did a good job.
There you see Mason Voorhees and everybody hyped. Reese Mooney goes for 2, gets batted down by a Benton defender, no good, score stays 28-26. Late in the fourth quarter, Jackets ball, Reese Mooney throws it to number 7, Micah Harrison, up the middle of the field for a first down, brought down by number 6 on the Benton Tigers. Fourth down, Reese Mooney scrambles down, short of the first down, kind of falls down there. Looks like he trips or something. Turnovers on down, 55 seconds left, Benton gets the ball. Third down, Jackets with no timeout. Number 13 kind of just sitting there in the backfield trying to waste time. Guys are trying to get there. Lamar Smith kind of gets taken down weirdly. Shaq's trying to chase him. Just kind of just wasting time at this point. Just a bunch of chaos. Multiple whistles for a bunch of flags. There you can see Coach Beard, you're talking to the refs. Benton now has it on fourth down. Time's running out. He drops back, goes down, and then you see the players are pointing here, and they're pointing at the scoreboard, which actually has 0.6 seconds left on the clock, as you can see there. So the Jackets will get the ball with 0.6 seconds left. A lot of adverse about this one play. But I mean, great defense. Caleb LeBlanc warming up to take this kick. He makes it. It's the game winner. Caleb LeBlanc kicks it, and you can see by the reaction, it's good. Denham Springs will take the win and advance to the quarterfinals for the first time since 1985. Coach, can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I mean, what a special moment. I mean, it's a lot of fun to see the smiles and the tears and everything on these kids' faces after all they've gone through to get to this point. To really be let down and have to come down to a kick and even be at that point to continue to fight. And, you know, sometimes when a state championship, you got to have a little luck. And by no means was it luck of having time, but there was poor clock management there that was lucky for us. And, you know, nobody wants to talk about that series started on the 49 and they backed up to the 13. Nobody wants to talk about all that. We want to continue to make excuses and guess on numbers that were on the clock or on a play clock that wasn't even working. And realistically, there was options that could have been exercised that were not. And we won the football game. Hats off to Caleb LeBlanc to come through with the big time kick.
Amazing play by Denham Springs. That shows you to never give up until the full 48 minutes of the football. So for the stats, Reese Mooney went 16 for 38 in the air for 328 yards and 4 touchdowns. Cameron Irick had 6 receptions for 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. Micah Harrison had 7 catches, 97 yards, and 1 touchdown. All right, so crazy game. Yellow Jackets will advance to the quarterfinals since 1985. Emotional win. Can you tell us about that?
What an amazing day. It was an amazing road trip. Stopped at Northwestern State and had the parents cook the pasta live for us, and got to just sit out there and kind of break up the drive and walk around. And went on to Benton, which was a nice, great site, great people, and it's even better when you leave there with a victory. But that was a tough football game, a tough football team, and really a good football team. That was a big time win. But anytime in the second round of the playoffs, everybody's going to be really good, and you have to do your job and take care of handle all your business. And learned a lot about ourselves, and ultimately for the first time, we did dig a hole again, but we played for 48 minutes like we've never played for 48 minutes. And Caleb had a rough year, and that's no secret because he's had some struggles, but that happens. But when it all matters, you saw what the young man can do, and that was big time. And I couldn't be more proud for him and for our kids to keep fighting.
Caleb did overcome a lot of struggles, kind of struggling earlier in the season.
Yeah.
And then Cameron Irick, I know we kind of integrated him to a wide receiver throughout the season. Huge game from him.
Yeah, he's a special player. We knew that was going to have to happen. We knew we had another weapon in him. But, early in the year in Louisiana, it's really hot. And to go both ways for what your plan is to be 15 weeks, that's a lot of football for a kid to play. We had to do that with a couple of guys and do it more than we wanted to early on, but we didn't want them to, we didn't want to kill them off during the weekend practice and everything else, so they were able to feel good and play our game at a high level on Friday night. And, you just saw that kid came over when it was time to make some things happen, and that's what he did.
And then after beating them last-second victory, you go home, got to start preparing for this game against the number 1 team in the state, Ruston.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, at this point, you've got a huge monkey off our back in getting to the quarterfinals since 1985. There was a lot of pressure, I think, on these kids that I think they even put on themselves, because you heard a lot of the noise last year. And, we felt like we let round 2 get away from us last year with the critical mistakes we made. And there was really only one way to get that taste out of your mouth. That was not only get back to round 2, but succeed in round 2. And we did just that. And, I think there was a little pressure on them. And then a long bus ride. It just started a little slow, but our kids are tough kids, and they're going to play the game the right way. And came out victorious. We played for 48 minutes, and I think anybody that plays us knows that we're going to play for 48 minutes, and there's going to be moments in a football game where there's some chaos, and we may be the ones creating it.
A lot of teams' goals are kind of to get to that Thanksgiving break,
Yeah.
be practicing during that break. So let's get to those highlights against Ruston. Jackets are taking the field against the Ruston Bearcats, led out by a motorcycle for this quarterfinal game. First quarterfinal since 1985. Just the hype around the city as a whole. All of Denham Springs came out to support the team tonight.
Dang, we look really good right here, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
That might be my favorite look.
Yeah, so Ruston hands it off to the running back, number 9, goes up the middle for a huge gain into Jackets territory, taken down by Mason Voorhees there. They had a couple of great runners on their offense. Number 4 hands it off to number 2, Dyson Fields, who gets into the end zone for a touchdown. Ruston up 7-0 quick. Ruston takes the momentum quick. What's the importance of that?
Well, the best thing about the number 1 seed and a great team is, we had the opportunity to stone them all night long and did some really good things, and we showed that. But a good team like this, if you do make one mistake, if you do miss one read, these are the teams that now house them against you because they're that good.
Jackets ball now, number 18, quarterback Jerry Horn takes it up the middle on a 3rd down, gains a 1st down. You can see he gets up, ready to take this team. Number 18 drops back to pass, fumbles the ball, recovered by Ruston.
When he scrambles, he's got to tuck it away. He's notorious for that. This isn't the first time, and it's because he runs around and he's loose with the football, and look at him, he just holds it out in his hand. It's a bad fumble. That's a sophomore mistake that he's going to learn from and he won't do again.
Good hustle by Jerry, though. Tries to get back on it quick. Ruston ball, number 4, Osborne. Play action pass. Throws it to number 1, Aaron Jackson for a touchdown. Ruston takes lead 14-0. Ruston up early. We needed kind of like a big play or something to get the momentum back at home. What are your thoughts on how the game's going so far?
Yeah, it didn't surprise me. Let's be honest. You watch us all year long. We're notorious slow starters. We're gonna toy with you and let you get a lead, and then we're gonna attempt to create some chaos to get us to come back. So this was not a surprise to me. It's a tougher deal to climb out of when you play teams of this caliber when you spot them. And I wish we had started faster.
There you can see number 1's height. Second quarter, number 1 quarterback Reese is now in. He pitches it to number 7, Micah Harrison, who makes a couple of defenders fall down, shakes around another one, spins, ultimately down for a nice gain. Number 1 keeps the ball, fumbles it. Ruston recovers another fumble. What's the importance of ball security?
That's another bad critical mistake. I don't really understand how it even happened. So that shouldn't even happen at that point, and it did. And we're looking for somebody at quarterback position to step up at this point. Like, who wants it? Who wants the challenge? And who wants to fight for it and fight for us?
Number 4 Osborne scrambles around in the pocket, making pass rushers miss. Scramble and throws it deep to number 3. Cameron Irick actually breaks that up. Ruston hands it off. Stuffed by number 2, Lamar Smith. Big play by number 2. Number 4, Osborne on the keeper. Runs across midfield. Gets the first down. Swerves around a couple jacket defenders. Good tackle there by Rancher. Number 4 drops back to pass. He's looking, throws it deep down to number 18, Logan Malone. Ruston now takes the lead 21-0. Ruston up big. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, again, we're letting it get away from us, and you can't do that with a really good football team, much less the number 1 seed. That was a great double move right here. Run-heavy team, run the hitches. Looked like he might, maybe just run a typical little lazy route like you're going to block, or hardly come off the ball, and our corner just kind of napped right there, and he hit us with a double move. It happens, and in games like this, you can never relax.
Quick to kind of silence the crowd. Denham's got to get back into it soon. Number 1, Reese Mooney drives back to pass. Gets crushed by number 6, Christian Davis. Huge hit on Reese Mooney.
Kid's a good player.
Big play, number 6. Number 1, Reese Mooney throws it high to number 7, Micah Harrison, who catches it. A really good catch. Jackets on the move right before half. Number 1, Reese Mooney throws it up to number 6, Deshaun McBride, who catches it over the Bearcats defender. Jackets cut the lead to 21-7. You guys moved Deshaun onto the offense. What led to this?
Yeah, look, when it comes to all out, win or go home, you have to start to prepare to have some of your better players out there if you get into a shootout or a situation like this. This is our 2-minute offense, so we had to go to them a lot earlier than we wanted to. But we went to them, and you have to make plays, and you can see McBride's made plays all year with all the picks. You know he can catch the football, and he just does what he does.
Onside kick by Caleb LeBlanc. Bounces up, hits the Ruston defender in the face mask, and it is recovered by the Yellow Jackets. We retain possession with a decent amount of time. A couple seconds left on the clock. Caleb LeBlanc kicks a field goal. It is good. Buzzer sounds to go into halftime. 21-10 at half. Ruston's up.
Yeah, 21-10 have not played very well. We spot them 21. To cut it to 11 is huge.
Second half, Ruston number 2 fumbles the ball, and it is recovered by Denham on this play. Big play by the defense coming out of the half. Kind of make a statement that we're still in the game. Number 1, Reese Mooney hands it off to number 5, Ray McNeely, who runs behind the O-lineman for a big game. Number 1, Reese Mooney, hand off to number 5, again. Jackets driving deep into Ruston territory. Ray's kind of taking the workload here. There you go, Ray, another run for another decently sized gain. Ray's just kind of carrying the team on his back for this drive. Number 1, Reese Mooney, handoff again to Ray McGilly, once again, who runs up the middle for a touchdown. Lead is now cut to 21-17. What's the importance of getting the run game going?
Well, we had to. Now, we knew going into it was going to be tough. They're really good in the box and really good up front, and we knew we were going to have to throw a little more to help the run game. So, and then of course the run game would open up the pass game. But we had to get Ray going. I mean, he's arguably one of our best players, if not our best player. We had to lean on him. If you're going to beat the best team in the state and you want to become the best team in the state, you got to lean on your best players.
Ray McNeely's been doing a great job all year running the football. There you can see he gets into the end zone for another touchdown on the season. There's McDowden celebrating with him.
Those guys are going to be missed.
Number 4, Osborne hands it off to number 9, Hayes, who is stuffed at the line by number 10, Jake Cambry, and number 2, Lamar Smith. Good to have Lamar Smith. I know he had to miss the first half of the season. He's been making an impact. Number 4, Osborne hands it off to number 9, Hayes, who runs up the middle for a long touchdown into the end zone. Ruston answers 28-17. Denham starts coming back, but Ruston kind of puts a stop to it. What's the defensive mindset going forward?
Well, you just got to keep fighting at that point. Obviously we missed a read right here. You give a good team a little crack, and you can see it was a little crack. And good teams find it. Good running backs get up in there, and they finish these runs. Defensively, we just got to keep fighting. Our offense is starting to pick up. I mean, we're not out of it at this point, and you just got to keep doing your job, and that's what they did.
Reese Mooney throws it to number 5, Ray McNeely, who takes it down the sideline, cuts back into the middle, missing a Bearcat defender, outrunning another one into the end zone for a touchdown. Denham punches back into the game, 28-24. How did Ray impact this game?
Well, I mean, he's one of our best. I mean, he scored in 3 different ways this game against the best team in the state, proving that he is who he is. He's an elite player. You get to 28-24 right here, and I definitely felt a big shift. There was a little pressure off of us. We felt like we were in a good spot, and you could see they tensed up a little bit, and they just ended up making the plays and doing their job when they had to do it, and we just couldn't get over that hump of those 4 points.
Great answer by the Yellow Jacket offense. Ruston ball now. Number 9, Hayes, runs it up the middle for a first down, tackled by Cameron Irick near the logo midfield. Number 4, Osborne, back to pass, throws it to number 1, Jackson, for the first down for the Bearcats. Number 4, Osborne to number 1, Jackson. Again to the left side, good enough for a first down for Jackson and the Bearcats. Ruston's driving. Number 4, Osborne, back to pass again, throws it to the number 1, Jackson. Once again, Ruston answers 35-24. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, we're still behind. Still got to keep plugging away. Somewhere along the lines, we got to score again, maybe get some onside kicks and create some chaos and get some momentum. That's really where we're at. You're not out of the game at this point. There's just some breaks that have to go for you, but we're gonna have to create those breaks.
There you can see number 1 catching it for the touchdown. Next Jackets drive, number 1, Reese Mooney drops back to pass, throws it up the middle to number 12, Mason Boris. It's incomplete. Denham has to punt. Ruston ball now, number 2, Fields, up the middle. Long run to the right of the middle for a touchdown. Ruston now takes the lead, 42-24. Kind of a defensive struggle versus the run this game. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, if you go back and you really watch the film and see every play, that we really did. The score does not show the job we did, but it's like I said earlier. When you have a team of this magnitude and you relax one play, this is what happens. They house it. So we'd stun them. We'd hold them, and then they would break one. And that's what good teams do when you relax. And you have to do your job every time, and you can't take plays off, and you can't get caught, and you got to trust your eyes. And that's all it was.
Ruston kicking off now to the Yellow Jackets. Kicks it to number 5, Ray McNeely. Kind of scans the field, makes a couple guys miss, and then runs it up the middle, getting past multiple defenders. Then he stiff arms another one to get him off him, and takes it into the end zone. Quick answer by the Yellow Jackets, 42-31, kind of hypes up the crowd. Quick strike, big for the momentum. Thoughts on that?
I mean, Ray McNeely being Ray McNeely. When not very often do we see people get to kick to him and let him do this, and they did, and put the ball in his hands, and playmakers make plays. A special player made a special play. Gave us a heartbeat, gave us a pulse back, and some momentum and some energy. We just have to continue to grind it out, and we're feeling a little pressure at this point. Time's against us, the score's against us. We've dug a hole, and there is a little pressure on our guys, and we've got to overcome it.
Big play by Ray, kind of getting the crowd back into it as well. Crowd's a big factor here too. Big play, getting us back into it. Caleb LeBlanc onside kick goes through the legs of a Bearcat defender, but ultimately is recovered by Ruston. Denham Springs can't keep this one. Number 4, Osborne back to pass, throws it to number 9, Haynes, but it falls incomplete. Jackets get the ball back. Number 1, Reese Mooney drives back to number 12, Mason Voorhees, who shakes off a defender, gets tackled, good for a first down. Mason Voorhees playing both sides of the ball. Number 1, Reese Mooney on 4th down is under pressure, goes down. Turnover on downs. Ruston gets the ball late in the game. Here you can kind of see the Ruston defenders are height. Hand off to number 2, Fields, who takes it up the middle, fights off a couple of defenders, beats Cameron Irish to the outside and scores 49-31 Bearcats. Kind of a big hit as we're trying to come back from this deficit. How did that impact?
Yeah, that's a tough dagger right there. Time is against you. 3-possession game at this point. Definitely some craziness has to happen for us to make the comeback. Is it over? No, but we've definitely put ourselves against the wall and going to have some crazy things happen.
Denham is battle tested. They've been in these types of situations before. We'll see if they can pull it out. Number 1, Reese Mooney rolls to the right, looking, scanning, throws it deep. Pass is broken up. Multiple Ruston defenders there. Ruston ball. They actually fumble on this play. The Jackets recover the fumble. Still life for the Jackets. There you can see the defense really hyped to get that fumble. Offense eager to get back out there, kind of make a statement. Then a ball, Reese Mooney throws it, but it is intercepted by number 21, Zarek Hill. That was kind of almost the final dagger. Number 4, Osborne drops back to pass, deep pass to the end zone. Number 12, Mason Voorhees gets up there to break it up. Good play by Mason.
As long as you keep making plays, you got a shot.
Late in the game, number 1, Reese Mooney passes it to number 3, Cameron Irick, who makes a couple guys miss, kind of like that Benton game, but ultimately brought down. There you can see kind of tough way to lose the last game. But we hung in there with the number 1 team in the state. Time would run out. Final score versus Ruston, 49-31. Your thoughts on this game, Coach?
Well, I couldn't be more proud of these guys, this senior group, these 30 guys that became just amazing young men that fought for Denham Springs and gave us everything. And, only one team ends with a smile, and that's not us. And there's a lot to grow from and learn from this group of 30. And this foundation is very strong to move forward in this football program because of these guys and what they were able to accomplish. And very proud of each and every one of them, love and respect each and every one of them, and look forward to seeing what they have in the future for them.
So Reese Mooney went 21 for 41 in the air, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns and an interception. Ray McNeely had 11 rushes for 71 yards rushing, 91 yards receiving, and 3 total touchdowns. Deshaun McBride had 3 catches for 55 yards and 1 touchdown. All right, so playing the number 1 team in the state, obviously we're kind of the underdog going into this game. Defense kind of struggled to stop the run the whole game. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, we just, it's like I said in the highlights. There was moments we looked really, really good and we stoned them, and they're a good football team. And like I said, they're number 1 for a reason. You give them a little crack, and that running back was going to get up in it, or if we were relaxed on one of our reads, they were going to find the seam, and they did. And the good teams, they punish you when you do that. It's not always those opponents those elite opponents are different. And you have to be disciplined, and you have to be sound. You have to build your wall, or they're going to make you pay for it, and that's what happened. Even though we had some moments where we looked really, really good, the big plays just added up.
Another early deficit. We were down 21-0 at one point versus Ruston early in the game. What kind of impact does that have?
Well, the good news with us is it wasn't an abnormal place for us to be down and start as slow as we did. We just needed to figure out a way to get a spark and get a little momentum, and somebody make a big play to where everybody starts feeding off that guy to make a big play. And to cut it to 21-10 before half was critical for our second half opportunity to attempt a comeback.
Ray McNeely had an amazing game on the ground, as well as returning a kick return for a touchdown. What are your thoughts on him?
Well, how special has he been here for 3 years now? He's been a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to coach. Kid deserves every opportunity at the next level because he's a freak football player and an amazing young man, and that combination is tough to find. And he's everything you want, and deserves an opportunity. And you just hope somebody give a kid a chance and see what I see and watch what he does, because it's special.
This was the end of the season, last game of the year. What are your thoughts on the legacy this senior class leaves behind?
Well, I mean, they did everything we asked of them, and they put this foundation at a very strong point and began to really build this program back to the pride that Denham Springs wants, and to play the right game, the Denham Springs way. And every one of these dudes that made it to this point have been through a lot. For them to continue to fight like they did and continue to fight for Denham Springs and fight for each other, I couldn't be more proud to be a part of them, be more proud to get to know them. Loved every second coaching every one of them. And I'm excited to see what they do, because they're going to be successful in life, because they're fine young men.
This team shocked a lot of people this year. Nobody really expected Denham to do anything crazy big. And, I think we showed the state that we're back, like Denham Springs is back.
Yeah, it's going to take time, and the biggest thing that we have to understand is the trajectory is, as long as it's up, we're moving in the right direction. But there's going to be times where you're going to come down a little bit. But if you're constantly moving up and you're building a program the right way, and you got kids that love the game, that want to play the game for the right reason, that are disciplined and just warriors, you got a chance to continue to grow. Even next year being a little young, could we take a little dip? Yes, but we're still on the rise. But the challenge to replace these 30 seniors, begins now. But it's going to be a lot of fun, because a lot of things are going to be brought back to this group and brought back to this team, to where these guys are going to continue to learn from. And those seniors that are gone are still going to have a lot to do with the influence of where we're going and the accomplishments the next group gets to have. So as long as we're going up, I'm really happy. And right now we're going up, and we're going up at a very rapid pace. And really excited about the future of Denham Springs football.
Big picture for this football program, kind of going forward into next year, what would you say we're looking ahead to?
Well, we got to figure out who really wants to play football here. You got to get through an off season. They got to start passing those tests now. And you got all the DBs back. We feel really good with the quarterback coming back. We got an O-line that we're going to have to figure out who can step up and man that for us. Excited to see 33 R.J. Johnson had some moments this year. You got him. We got a couple of young guys. You got the Byers kid. We got some dudes there that's going to give us a chance to have a really impressive run game. Defensively, your DBs are a very strong group coming back. We have to replace Irick, but we feel like we got a couple of dudes that are in the battle for that. You replace kind of the brains and the heartbeat, with the two middle linebackers. And, you got Ruston coming off the edge, and Chandler, just mainstays that you've seen the last 3 years that now you have to replace. But, we're up for the challenge. And the guys that make it are going to be a lot of fun to watch, and they're going to play Denham Springs football, and I can't wait to create the chaos with the young group.
You got any message you want to give the fans?
Oh, look, just stick with us. I promise you, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to do things the right way, and, we're going to be better. It's unacceptable. I'm not, this is a big goal that we had, but my job now is to figure out a way to move it forward.
All right, so that will wrap up episode 12 of the Brett Beard Show, sponsored by James Restaurant. Next week, we actually have a special coming up with Ellie and Sadie hosting for the Brett Beard Show. Make sure to tune into that. Thank you guys for joining us for this ride this year. Have a good one.